And honestly, it was just a terrible, terrible process. I hated it.
Before I knew it, they would ask me to rip off a policy off one of their competitors' website, and it never felt right. I had my reasons, Donata had hers, but I was an agency owner back in the day. I ran a 12-person web agency in downtown Chicago. Clients would ask me what they should do for policies, and I would always sit there and be like, I have no idea. I'm not your attorney. And before I knew it, they would ask me to rip off a policy off one of their competitors' website. And it never felt right, but I would just do it, just kind of, okay, that's what they asked, so I'm just going to do it. And it just always felt awkward, that one final question right before site launch, hey, what should I do for policies? And now all of a sudden our project gets delayed 4 weeks while they figure it out. So the pain for me was that my website clients always relied on me as a developer to advise them on everything website related, and policies, not my specialty, and I just didn't have anything to offer. So that was a really big motivating factor for me, is I wanted to offer something professional. And of course, I always would recommend an attorney, but having an affordable alternative was my main goal.
From my perspective, I was writing privacy policies and terms of service for my clients as a lawyer. And this was before even GDPR and before all the state privacy laws and kind of the state privacy law patchwork that we have now. But I realized that I was asking them very similar questions, like, what personal information is your website collecting? What are you doing with that information? Who are you sharing it with? And I had 5 or 6 templates that I would Frankenstein together. And honestly, it was just a terrible, terrible process. I hated it. It was very repetitive. It was very boring. And it was very, just a lot of steps that I had to take to come up with a final product. And because of the similarities between the clients and between the disclosures, there should be a way to automate this and make this less painful for the lawyer writing these. And also I would say, I'd meet a lot of business owners that couldn't afford my services as a lawyer, right? They couldn't pay thousands of dollars to write these policies or keep them up to date. And I thought, I can't really, as a lawyer, charge super low price because I'm doing this manually by hand. But if there was a way to automate this, small businesses could get a more affordable solution so they could get something up on their website without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars that they don't necessarily have. So one is updates. You go on to competitor Privacy Policy Generator website and it says, oh, we just updated your policies for X. And I'm like, wait, this law went into effect 4 years ago. Why are the policies just being updated now? The policies should be updated prior to that law's effective date, because that's when businesses can get fined for noncompliance. Another big gap that I saw is that we know that the best way to create a privacy policy is to figure out which laws apply, because that's what dictates what disclosures are within your policies. And when we were initially starting this business, what I saw in a lot of generators was that this was just not a step that was taken. The disclosures in the policies were random. They weren't based on any requirements. And now as things have evolved, we see questions like, do you need compliance with Virginia's privacy law? And the business owner doesn't know that. They don't know who Virginia's privacy law applies to. So these other generators don't ask, do you process the data of X number of residents of Virginia per year, or whatever the factors are to determine if that law applies to you. And that leads to a lot of inaccuracies and inconsistencies and missed gaps in policies as well. And I guess now that I'm on this, a third edition as well is making stuff up. So a lot of these generators, you create your policies with them and the policy will say, well, we're sharing your personal information with analytics providers. And you're like, hold up, I never said that I use analytics. My website doesn't have that. So a lot of these templates just kind of make stuff up. They add stuff that they think, okay, 90% of website owners are going to have this or going to do this with their website. And it turns out that the policies are completely inaccurate as to what's actually happening on your website. So that customization was a really, really big gap that I saw as well.
I think Donata nailed the main parts. Make everything that you're required to provide, the disclosures you're required to make, and receive the benefits of auto updating. And that's really the core of our offering. Now, how we market ourselves to the world is we are heavily focused on agency partnerships and law firm partnerships as well. And our goal there is to be, well, as I shared earlier, as an agency owner, clients would come to me and be like, what should I do for policies? I'm like, I have no idea. Talk to your attorney. Well, now I can offer another option. Be like, if you don't have the funds to hire an attorney right now, you can use Termageddon. It's $120 a year, and you can get all the benefits of auto updating policies. So we've set up our business model to have agencies make a little recurring revenue while they recommend our solution to clients. And that's kind of our antidote to, spending ads on Google Ads. I mean, Google and other big platforms are why we're here for many reasons. So yeah, we want to give a little bit back to the people that recommend us. And
so for us, it's very important to have comprehensiveness. That's probably our first value. If you take a look at our generators, we have a lot of different options for a lot of different circumstances. Maybe you're displaying copyrighted work without permission, or maybe you sell health products that have been evaluated by Estonia's health ministry. We have lots of different options. We cover more laws than any other generator in the market. Because we know that these laws don't apply based on where your business is located. What matters is whose personal information you're collecting, where you're offering goods or services, who you're tracking online, where your customers are located, and things like that. So we know that a lot of different laws can apply to a business. So our main goal and main value really is comprehensiveness, making sure that you have all the different options that your business needs. We also, another one of our values is great support. So, people reach out to us with questions, and we really do our best to answer quickly and efficiently. You see a lot of companies that have, if you submit a contact form, you'll hear back from us within 7 to 10 business days. We don't do that because we know as a business, you want to get this done and move on. So we really strive to have really good customer service that actually helps people instead of just regurgitating information that's already available to you. So personalized support is very important to us as well.
To me, the biggest value is education. We are all about providing as much education as we can. Every single day, I take that extra minute to write an extra note in my support tickets to help customers, guide them along. And why is that? Because we're all small, our clients are small business owners. They're so busy with what they do on a day-to-day basis. It's already hard to digest the fact that they need policies, let alone what needs to be inside of them. So, and I'm an educator at heart. I like helping people learn new things. And so that's played well for me because, this is an industry that seems really murky and hard to digest, when in reality, it's not that bad. You need to find out the laws that apply. You need to provide the stuff needed to comply with those applicable laws. And then from there, we can get down into the details of any single particular law. And I think that speaks to why customer support is so important to us. I know what it's like to be treated as a number when reaching out to support, and I know what it's like to have a personal experience. And yeah, we're not going to treat you like a number at Termageddon, that's for sure.